But new information discovered by Judicial Watch showing the involvement of the FBI in helping push the Trump dossier, which you'll remember was largely funded by the Clinton campaign and was filled with Russian disinformation that was meant to discredit not Hillary Clinton, but Mr. Trump. So is Mr. Mueller investigating that side of the Russian collusion story? Here now is Tom Fitton, Judicial Watch President. Tom, great to see you. Let's first talk about what you got. It was heavily redacted, but does it show definitively that the FBI was actually paying one of the authors of the Trump dossier?
Well, Christopher Steele, who was hired by Fusion GPS, who had been hired by the Clinton campaign and DNC, met with the FBI at least 13 times in 2016. 11 of those times resulted in payments to Mr. Steele. So in the middle of the Clinton-Trump campaign, the Clinton agent for Fusion GPS, Christopher Steele, who was talking to Russia intelligence about Trump supposedly, was meeting repeatedly with the FBI.
Well,
now,
Tom,
they don't give us details about those meetings, though.
This is what Bob Mueller was set up to do, was to investigate real Russian collusion. This seems to be far more credible as evidence of Russian collusion than anything that the Trump campaign did.
Well, you know, and as disturbingly, in November, they deemed him not useful as a confidential human source anymore. Yet they continued to tell the court his information was reliable in terms of getting those FISA warrants, spy warrants on Carter Page and the Trump team. Real abuse, and I think the FBI, who at the FBI was meeting with him, we don't know. Was it Peter Strzok? Did James Comey know that this Clinton campaign agent was in the FBI at least a dozen times in 2016? And that doesn't count the times he and his people were meeting through his wife, Nellie Orr, Bruce Orr, at the Justice Department after he was cut off supposedly by the FBI.
Well, there's another point. Tom. Forgive me for interrupting, but this meeting that everybody's talking about between Donald Trump Jr. and the Russian agent, that Russian agent met before and after the Trump Jr. meeting with members of Fusion GPS. What was that all about? I mean, if there was collusion between her and the Trump campaign, there was also collusion between her and the Hillary campaign through Fusion.
Fusion GPS was working for Russian fronts to discredit a critic of the Putin regime, and the lawyer involved in that effort was the lawyer behind the meeting at Trump Tower. It's just, it's mind-boggling what went on, and for the Mueller operation to focus solely on Trump collusion shows you that there's this politicization of the special counsel operation.
Tom, I have to jump to the final point because we heard Adam Schiff at the beginning suggest that the Russians are now interfering on Donald Trump's side with the 2018 midterm elections. But if anything, it's exactly the opposite again. We got that Facebook story last week. They took down some of the sites that clearly had some apparently Russian influence in them, and they were anti-Trump. There was one showing Donald Trump screaming in front of a Nazi flag. That's one of the ones that was taken down. There are others that send protesters to anti-ICE rallies. If there was Russian collusion with anybody in the United States, it was against Trump, not in favor of him.
You know, there's this idea that they want to divide America. No, they want to attack our government. They're attacking the Trump administration. During the campaign, they thought Hillary Clinton was going to win, and they attacked the Hillary Clinton campaign, knowing or thinking, like everyone else in America, or many people in America, that she was going to become president. The Russians are interested in undermining our government. And they were doing it in 2016. They're doing it again.
That's the bottom line. No matter who they have to go after, they're just trying to undermine our government and our way of life. Tom Fitton, thank you for uncovering this, Tom. Appreciate it.